Welcome, perhaps a folded blanket as a prop today, if you would like. It's optional. You can see what works for you. Keep it simple, but also take care of yourself. It's a great February day. Gonna try wearing sweater leggings for yoga. Hopefully, it won't get too hot. So it'll be an experiment to see how this works, and that's how we find out. So the folded blanket can be used for sitting. You would place it underneath your pelvis so that your hips, which come into your pelvis, are a little bit higher than the rest of your legs. So that idea is to elevate your spine. And it's okay if your knees are higher than your hips. We ask them to try to relax downward. Let's unpack the seated pose for a moment and sit tall. Use your bicep muscles as you move your fingers to hold your leg, and then you can focus on some ankle movement. Just moving through the joints of the lower body while doing a supported boat pose. And it's yoga, so just get into body sensation awareness. Let your focus go to your foot and ankle and holding yourself in the shape. And relax. Close the hinge of your knee. Open it and close it again. Just go into that extended knee and then the flex knee. Hold your ankle and knee. Sit up tall. So instead of leaning back, come upright and do a little bit of cradling. Move your hip joint back and forth, up and down, around, the other way. It's okay if it's awkward. Just saying from my experience with that. And then really, so to come into seated pose, fold your knee in comfortably, relax your hip out. I'm going to make room with my other leg. So there's a little bit of outward rotation in the knee and the foot as well. Okay, other side, lean back. Gentle breathing. Axial extension of the spine. Tall and lean back. 2. Use your front body strength and your arm strength. Ankles, ankle. Pumps, circles, toes. Stretch your foot a little bit. Bring awareness to it, wake it up. And relax. Close your knee. Just bring it in comfortably. Open it back up. And bring it in again. And relax your knee a bit so you can do the hip cradle, second side. Hold ankle and behind knee. Using core and arm strength. Move your hip joint. Back and forth, up and down, circling both directions. And I don't have a lot of mobility on this side, but I can still move it around a little bit. And then drawing your heel towards your navel, coming down the midline. And just do your best with that. Make sure everything's fine. Bring your hands to the center of your chest, grounding that intentional downward energy. Allows you to rise with freedom. Interlace your fingers, pressing up with the gaze. Side stretch to the right. Angle around halfway towards the front. Different back muscles, press forward. Rounding the upper back a little bit, press. Angle towards the side, part way. Up and over into side bend. Back up to center, press, gaze. Come down and release. Other side, I'm gonna get my microphone. If you would come up and start that side bending to the left. And then that coming slightly forward with your torso to angle out and stretch down the lower back zone. Stay upright, just let your upper back curl a little bit, press forward. Come into that low back stretch midway. Coming up, feeling lots of core strength through this stretching. Strength and stretch all together. Back to center, press, gaze, inhale. Bend your elbows, release your hands together and come down. Lift your sternum slightly, breathing in. Alone. Heart lifting pose. Release your legs. Point your toes. Your hands back. So if you have a blanket, work with it, slip under, move your blanket as needed to lift your chest. Front shoulders, where they come into the body. Point toes, gaze down, one. Being careful not to overdo, but also not to hold back. That's part of our meditation, is to find that middle path. One more time. Return upright. Comfortable cross leg position once again. Forward fold, checking in with forward folding cross legs. So slip your hands to that place where your legs come into your pelvis. That's where you want to move from. No, not higher. That's the alignment to tilt forward, whatever that is. And then let your arms come out and your torso come forward. Not really trying to get your face on the floor, just trying to lean out of your hip joints. Calmly breathe another time. Inhale, rise. Exhale, switch the cross of your legs to promote balance. Sitting tall, breathing in, find your hip joints with your hands. And then breathe out, lean forward on this side. Your own degree with all the shapes. And let your hands find a way to support that lean. 1, 2, 3. Finding that just right amount of work is part of that Sthira Sukha Asana. Finding the steadiness and the sweetness in the pose. One more breath out. And coming up. One more direction. Seated twist. Arms up, breathing in. Use your core strength to turn your trunk. So the low back isn't going to move that much. The mid back has more rotation, and the neck also. Gaze back comfortably. Don't overdo. Breathe. Soft side gaze. Exhale. Core strength, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, turn your torso and bring your arms down. Even if you do this one every day, you want to come into it today, this moment, just the right amount. The beginner's mind. Exhale again. So that's just one element of it, to have that, those fresh eyes, but also to use the wisdom and experience. One more reach up. And exhale, catch your knees, release your feet to the ground into garland pose. Widen knees, feet close, come through, stretch the low back and the hips. 1, 2, so in this variation I can really rest my legs into my arms. 5, release. Cross your legs, bring your hands to the ground and come to your knees. Spreading your blanket under your knees, that's one variation if you'd like, and I'll do that just to demonstrate and make time. So if it's something that you add to your practice to take care of yourself. Here it is, tabletop. Fingers spread, starfish hands, index fingers forwardish. Wrists can be more forward if that's more comfortable in them. Knees under hips. Tops of the feet rounding. Spine long and centered. We've already stayed here for multiple breaths. Do you feel some strength in your shoulders, your back, your chest? As you bear weight in your arms, be intentional about that. One more exhale. Puppy pose, start with your feet. Soul stretch first, so tuck the toes under. Sit back slowly towards your heels, really honoring the feet, finding a sweet sense of lengthening at the soles. Knees, hips, mindful of them as well. Then slide your arms out, elbows lift, head comes down. Breathe deeply. This is a reaching, activated child's pose, soul stretch. It opens the chest like downward dog does. And lengthens the back body. One more time. Use your inhale to come to cow spine. So returning to tabletop, breathing in slowly, releasing feet, gentle extension. Exhale to cat spine, mid back rising, tail and chin going down. Twice more. Core strength articulates this spinal flow. Extend, flex, extend, flex, neutral. Comfortable child's pose, so knees could be wide, big toes together as one choice. Come back. Softening the work in the hands, walk them over into side reaching child's pose. Your own degree of reach. Head down, hips high or low. Relax as much as you can. Breathe deeply. 1. Just letting the breath stretch those muscles that go above the ribs. One more time. Linger in your exhale, side reaching child's pose. Inhale. Return to center with a little more space between your hands and your knees for striking cobra practice, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. So the upward movement is straight arms, bring your pelvis forward, lift your ribs. So it's like upward dog from the knees, stretching across the front hips, tone in your belly. Breathe here. Go back slowly, tuck your toes, stretch back to puppy. Move freely between those two shapes and turn to the side to demonstrate. So your knees need to be the right distance away, and you can stop at any point. A little tone in the low belly. Come into your high cobra shape. And then pull your toes in, go back and sink into puppy. Several more times. Lift ribs, gaze down. That stuff is not as important as listening to your low back. Rebreathing. Your body's like started to accept the idea after a few times. We can be really protective of that front body stretching, but spinal extension is really important. And now go back once you're ready, this time into that side reaching child's pose. You can move your knees as you like, walk the arms the other way, sweet lengthening along the ribs, head down, quiet breathing. One more cycle of breath, linger in the exhale. Return to center. Bring your right leg out to the side. Just floating it up with a bent knee. And lower. Twice more, slowly lift up. This time, kick out your foot. Bend your knee and lower. One more. Try to keep levelish in your pelvis. Add that extension of the leg. Rebend and come down. Other side, core strength. Hip movement, lift. Lower slowly. Slowly lift. Extend your leg. Try to stay steady, not let that affect the rest of your body too much. Bring your knee down. Refine as needed. Come up. Bring out your knee joint. And lower. Come back to your feet and make your way up to standing, moving your blanket prop in a squat. If you have it on your mat, and using that same squat to rise up and unfurl your mountain pose. Coming to the top third of your mat. Socks get in the way of standing balancing, so I recommend bare feet for that. Otherwise, up to you. But you want to be safe, you want to feel secure because you're creating peace. Forehead sweep. Jaw sweep. Twice more. Gentle touch. Observe your nervous system's response. Mountain with the palm slightly forward. Awakening the heart line. If you like, use your left hand to touch your right hand and slide up your arm to the center of your chest. Do that on the other side just to connect hands to heart. We can't reach with one hand to do the whole thing, so we're doing one side at a time. Trace that inner line to the heart center. One more each way. Yoga is an energy practice. Hands both at the heart center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slide them down to the belly. Breathe in. Above the hands. Breathe out into the hands. Twice more. This is important for grounding as well as building connection to your core. Another time. Belly engaged. Release your arms by your side. So it's an energetic toning below the navel. Hips down and back. Arms reaching up, victory arms. 1, 2, Knees reach back as well. 3, 4, 5. Standing up. Strong legs, press the feet, release. As you come down this time, arms reaching back. Ski jumper shape. Lean forward to the balls of the feet a bit if you can. 1, 2, 3. Giving it your full attention. Do your best. Inhale, heels down, rise up, reach your arms. Last one, exhale, go down, reach back. This time the toes lifting. 1, 2, 3. Steadiness with the gaze and breath. 4, 5. Toes down, exhale. Inhale, stand, reach the arms. Exhale, Pranamasana. Lightly press your hands, elbows float, hands float. Vital energy pose. Inhale, bring your arms up into the air. Exhale, slowly fold. Remember the tilt from your hip joints. My knees bend, come down, head down, hands down. No force. Straighten your arms and spine, breathe in. Half lifting pose. There's that forward energy. It's kind of a ski jumper kind of energy. Exhale, bring yourself back to plank pose of your choice. If your knees are down, consider coming up to your feet and just having your hips higher in the air. If you're already doing high hips, try working towards flat hips, no low hips. Strong chest, strong back, strong thighs. Bring your knees down, release your toes. Finding that up dog shape that we practiced, that high cobra. Going back, downward dog or puppy. Already worked puppy, so feel free to use it. Come into the lifted knees shape. I tend to be flexible, so I'm focusing on stability in this pose and generally focusing on strength. So that's beneficial for all of us. You bend if you need to. That takes care of flexibility. 4, and then there's 4 breaths worth talking. Down dog, focus on stability. Bring your knees down and come into bird dog pose, right leg going back. Maybe the left arm forward. Calmly meeting these challenges with breath and awareness. One more time. Exhale, lower hand and knee, flow into the other side, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And knee down. Press to bear. Lift your knees. 2, 3, 4, 5. Downward facing dog. 2, 3, 4, 5. Half lifting pose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let your knees bend, pull towards your legs. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bend your knees, rise up, reach up, inhale, exhale, Pranamasana. But with your focused awareness, bring your right leg back, press in, lunge to the bottom of the foot. back knee bend towards the floor and holding it down there. Warrior C, straighten your front leg and the back one. Lift the back one if you can, or keep the toes on the floor. Try to keep your hips level. Steady eyes. And release back to mountain pose and breathe out. The other side, rebreathing. Step back to crescent, warrior A stance, pivot, lower the knee, centering hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, having actual breaths instead of just beats. And 5, warrior C, straighten the legs, lean forward, lift the back leg if you like. Find a spot for your eyes. Press down into your standing foot. Straighten that leg if you can. Try to level your hips. And one more breath before bringing it down beside the other one. Triple warrior vinyasa in the spirit of Cupid imagery. Please keep the imagery and intention to love subjects. Short stance, warrior A, right leg back. So that's the ankle back heel, front knee bends, forward facing. The hands come out, keeping your shoulders in your body. So if you bring your shoulders out of your body to maximize your reach, you get way away from your core. So bring them back, hands together. Once you have your foundation, go for your bow, your arrow in the quiver. There it is. So the right arm reach straight up along your ear. Hold your elbow behind your head. Hold steady. One more time. Return the hands together. So reach up and come forward. Now fist the hands. Push the left one, pull the right one as you go into warrior B. Turn your foot to the side. Turn and face. If you've ever held a bow, it's hard. So activate your chest, your hands, your shoulders, imagining holding it. You're going to release and move into warrior C again. So breathe in here, a sense of readiness. Let it fly. So that imaginary arrow flying forward, and you watch it go. Turn to Tadasana, centering hands. Triple warrior vinyasa. Second side. A little short stance, warrior A. Bring the hands out. A nice vigorous reaching up with the left arm. And then folding your elbows so your hand comes down behind you. So it's part of cow face pose arms. Stretch that upper arm. Hip flexors on the back leg. It takes concentration to hold this steady. And bring the arm up again and back beside the other one. Now fist, pull on that bow as you turn to the side, warrior B. That front fist pushes, the back one pulls. Full concentration. Release the arrow. Follow it with the back leg. Very nice. And release. I see some one leg standing. Release, let that be. Big bend in your knees, turn to the right, please. Step out wide. Coming into First goddess, down the midline. Here's angle pose. Roots of the big toes grounding, not letting the knees collapse inward, so you change the angle of all your joints if needed. So they track knees towards middle toes. Reach behind interlace. Once that's comfortable, right ear towards the shoulder, keep your legs steady. Switch the weave of your fingers, stretch your neck the other way. This is like a standing version of frog pose. And release. 5-pointed star, straighten your legs, reach your arms, inhale. Exhale. One more time, come back in. Utkatta Konasana, fierce angle pose. Thumbs on the insides of your thighs, hold your thighs. Keep them steady, do not move your lower body. Then bring your right shoulder forward and down. Creating a spinal twist. Stretching down the back. Strengthening your legs. Stretching the inseams. Come up, hold steady, other side. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn to center, legs straighten, 5-pointed star. Exhale, release. Bring your heels out, wide parallel feet. Turn your front leg from your hip, bend your knee. Reach out, warrior B. Reverse hand to the back leg, front hand up. Straight up to the ceiling version. One more breath is 5. Warrior B, breathe in. Extended side angle, breathe out. Scoop that palm up, rest the arm, reach out. Gather the fingers, gaze up. Spread your feet. So we don't see the feet in this pose, but you're very much feeling them. They are the contact to the earth. Exhale, belly. Inhale. Touch warrior B one more time. And release to the other side. Straighten, parallel, tall, turn, bend, reverse when you're ready. Letting these strong shapes empower you. Fill them with gentle energy. Feeling strong and open, grounded. Warrior B. Extended side angle on an exhale. Exhale. So getting to know the shape, you can move into the shape with that breath. And then breathe freely as you refine. Gaze gently up. Feel your feet unseen. Deep breath again. It goes to the belly center, which is a great place to move out of the shape from. Coming up, so you've been moving from your center. You can hold your center energy hold as you come out and step out. Then reach up, breathe in. Hands come down. Let your feet find that sweet distance from each other, or you can come to your forward fold of choice. If you'd like, let your knees bend enough to slip your hands. You can go to the roots of your knuckles or to wrist. I'll do the knuckle demonstration today. So getting your fingers under your feet. Act like you're gonna pull it out. Elbows go a little wide, head down, and then maybe your legs straighten a little more. That's fine. This stretches the whole back of the body. 1, Pada Hastasana, foot hand pose. Don't strain. Calm energy. Breathe out. Tractions the wrists. It's part of what it does because we're sticking them and then pulling on them a little bit. Then let your hands go one at a time, flipping over. Walk back. Side plank right. Knee down or not. They're both good. They're all different. Do your one you're working on. Use your core and your shoulder strength. Come to the other side. Open hand. Press into the hand like you're holding the earth away. Getting stronger when things are challenging. Come back. Knees down. Pull back a moment. Lizard lunge. Come up and step your right leg forward. Angling it out a bit from your hip, knee, and foot so you can come inside of both arms. Customize and give this about 8 breaths. So you can be up on your arms or lower to forearms. Back knee can lift or not. So you can tuck your toes under if you want for more stability back there. Find a place where the work is interesting in your hips. Keep your spine centered. So that's about halfway. If you'd like, you could change your variation a little bit. You can add a little turn towards the front knee. Also known as dragon pose here in the year of the wood dragon, Chinese New Year time. Release back to Hanuman's, uncross, toes back, tuck the back toes. This is one of those key hip stretches. And that whole back leg, you're in charge. Breathe out slowly one more time. Low leg, calf, foot, nice stretch up there. Start with your foot to release. Bring it back. This stuff is like standing on one leg. If you want to try to come out without using your arms to the lizard. And then let the arms cartwheel inside of the foot. And nice to reset that back and knee for starters, just to find an approximate place. Maybe it's going to stay down or maybe it's going to lift. Long spine. Your first variation on this side. So in a pose like this, we might not only draw upon the low belly awareness, but the pelvic floor awareness, with the legs moving away from each other so dramatically. It's a good reminder to gather those muscles gently in and up to support the subtle muscles of the torso. Second variation, maybe it's the knee in the back. What are you going to change? Or you don't have to change. Maybe this little turn if you want to try it. Dragon. Lizards are just real dragons. Dragons in the real world. And making your way slowly out of that and back to Ardha Hanumanasana. Stretching out your lower leg muscles, your foot, across your seat, remembering it as a hip release, the back muscles of the hip joint. Breathe deeply again. Exhale completely. Start to release your foot and bring your leg back. Looking at frog pose, so turning to the right side on your mat, and if your knees are very sensitive, you can spread out your blanket. We don't do this one very often. It's like downward facing Baddha Konasana. So start with tabletop wide, turn wide on your mat so you can widen your knees as much as that is comfortable. Turning out your toes. So knees, ankles, and feet approximately in the same line from each other. And then perhaps lowering to the forearms. So it is okay to bring the feet towards each other. It's okay to bring your hips low or forward. But just teaching this basic form, centered, trying to have the ankles and knees with the feet turning out. Hold steady, 5, 4, moving deeply but responsibly, 3, 2, connected to the midline, the bandhas, 4, 5. Straighten your arms one at a time. Mix this up. Use your less dominant arm to come up first from time to time. Lift your knees. Lift to come out. Not dragging, but walking them in. Nice and close together, feet close to, for this version of rabbit pose where you bring your head lightly to the floor, hands on either side, so very light, touching somewhere between your forehead and the top of your head, really lightly. Grounding your head. No pressure at all on the neck, just a light touch. Heavy in the legs. And then let it turn into a closed knees, child's pose, sitting all the way back. Bring your forehead towards your knees and drape your arms back aside. Deep stretch in the neck, otherwise just relax and breathe in the shape. Try to get into some of those tight spots at the base of the head with the stretch. Breathe with determination. One more time. Dolphin pose. Come up and out to your forearm triangle. Separate your knees hip distance apart. Tuck your toes. Lift up your knees into dolphin as you're ready. 1, 2, 3. Strong Uddiyana Bandha, uplift in the low belly, as if that is holding you in the pose. Maybe the forearms are pressing down a bit too. Maybe the thighs are pressing back too. Lots of core. Mix up which leg you take back first. If there's one that's easier, you tend to do it. So do that less easy leg back if you can. And then the other one, that's kind of my Monday approach to like bring your hips down. Figure out where you might not be balanced and try to balance it out again. Calmly breathe another time. Welcome the strength into your body, around your bones, joints, muscles, lower down. Half frog to the right. So this time not burying the weight into frog and doing it one side at a time. Really lets you get in fully to each side. Bring it up as high as alongside you as it feels good, and then maybe kick your foot out to make that frog shape. Bring your head down and curl your torso towards that leg if you'd like to. Then relax your muscles. And exhaling, awakening low belly, gathering in and up with the pelvic floor muscles as you move to the other side. Bringing that leg up as high as it wants to come. Don't always talk about that in this pose. Kicking out the foot. Curling towards it if you'd like to. About 8 cycles of breath, quiet eyes. Meditation on releasing the muscular efforts of the body. Take the time to breathe slowly through another cycle. So there's a natural contraction in the low belly as you exhale. Try to sense that natural contraction and then keep it lightly as you release your leg and your torso back to center. Trying to come to the back of the body, so bring yourself up. Maybe a downward dog on your way. Come through and lie down. Bring your knees in. Focusing on the lower back. We've already done a lot with the hips, so you might feel pretty nicely stretched. We'll do one more, but low back focus here. Slipping into figure 4. You can use a pillow for these poses if you would like to. So this one last outer hip muscles across the seat. Customize. Give it about 8 breaths. Find that sweet spot for today where the work feels positive. Yoga is the settling of the mind so that our true nature may be revealed. Rest with your aliveness. Change to the other side. So we tend to have running commentary. Just change sides. Feel what feels right, and then be with that. Be present with those sensations, with your breathing. Soften the eyes. Seven, 8, cross. Knee down twist, bring the right leg across your body, rolling to the side with your toes or rest them on the ground. And goal post your other arm Turn your head and breathe. Breathe to release tension all along the spine. Exhale again. Center and change sides, all part of the process. And the process does have a back of the hip aspect to it as well, as far as stretch, find that sweet, long spine turning, and breathe deeply, slowly. Lengthening exhales. Twice more. Shavasana, come back to the center. Arranging so that you're comfortable and warm. Taking a little time so that you can settle. Shoulders down into the earth. Release any holding around your hips. Let them relax. Breath free to travel out of the mouth, maybe gushing out a few times. Let me go with that rhythmic breathing, just breathing naturally and gently. It's a process of letting go. The breath might slow way down. Free to linger in the spaces between inhales and exhales. Let yourself be curious about stillness. How do you respond? Open heart and mind. Just letting the mind have a little free flow. Trying to stay present, and you have the opportunity to observe when your mind travels forward and gently invite it back. You are in your body and your stillness. Letting this important information rest deeply into your tissues, your nervous system. Start by reaching arms out with the palms up, stretching the fingers and feeling that line across the center of your chest. Feel that heart line. No mistaking that there's energy there. And let one hand find the heart center and the other the belly. Inhale heart. Exhale belly. One more time. Keeping some stillness in your belly as you move from this shape. If you're moving from the belly center. Rise up safely. If you would like to cross legs again, come into that forward fold from hip joints shape just to say hello. And to try the other side to switch the shin that's in front and maybe 2 breaths just to touch back. In. Sharing practice. Always let me know if there are any of those less common hip stretches that you would like to see more regularly. Remember to hydrate.